Hi, Subhash from dsf.my here, and we got the opportunity to drive the Proton e.MAS 5 up Genting, and after this we're going down Genting back to Shah Alam. And here's a couple of things that we learned while we had this car. The first thing is that it's practical in a lot of different ways, in ways that you don't really expect. So this car, it looks very small, but actually when you put it up next to something like the Proton e.MAS, which is like the most popular hatchback in Malaysia, this car is actually noticeably larger. Bumper to bumper, it's longer, it's also wider, it's taller, wheelbase is longer as well. So overall, it's actually a bigger footprint than the Myvi. And of course, the price is also a little bit more, but you have to remember this is the cheapest, most affordable EV that you can buy in Malaysia. This is not the lower spec one. The lower spec one comes in at under 60k with the 2025 special promo pricing with the 3,000 ringgit discount. This one is 70,000 ringgit. But I still think that's a very reasonable price given what you get out of this car. A couple of other things to note in terms of ergonomics. I was sitting in the back most of the time yesterday and it was perfectly fine. I'm 6 foot tall, about 90 kilograms. Don't judge me. But yeah, sitting at the back, it was perfectly fine. I had no problem with leg room. Yeah, it's like one of those cars where on the outside it looks small, but once you sit inside, you realize that they packaged it really, really well. I also got to sit in the front passenger seat. No problem there, no like rubbing shoulders with the driver for elbow room. It was really, really well packaged. On top of that, yesterday they took us to go and see some, pack some durians and all that. We managed to fill the frunk with like 5 or 6 durians. I can't remember how many, but it's perfect for that. And there's a lot of storage compartments. There's one under the rear seats. There's a lot of like little cubby holes everywhere. They were saying 30 odd storage compartments. I think effectively it's a bit less than that, but if you really count every single storage hole, storage flap in there, it's about 30 lah. So a lot of little ways where the e.MAS 5 is actually a lot more usable than you'd expect for such a small car. The second thing to note, I guess, is the performance, because this is an EV, but it's an EV with a very, not to say tiny battery, but it's on the smaller side. It's around 40 kilowatt hours and it's a LFP battery. LFP batteries typically not very energy dense, so even though it's 40 kilowatt hours, the weight and all that would be a little bit more than your typical lithium-ion battery. And the advantage of an LFP battery is that it actually can be charged to 100% repeatedly without losing its overall capacity. So as a daily commuter, I would think that this is actually quite useful, even though the battery capacity is a little bit smaller than you expect. 325 kilometers on the WLTP cycle is what they quote, and I think you can get that kind of range out of this battery. You just have to drive below the speed limit and you have to be sensible with the throttle and all that. Coming up here, we were not sensible with the throttle at all. We were chasing a Suzuki Swift Sport. Of course, we could never keep up with the Swift Sport, but we never lost him at the same time. He was always right there. And that just tells me that this car is really punching above its weight class. And this is still under the performance category that I was talking about. So the range is just enough for your daily commute, and the fact that you can charge it to 100% means that you won't really have range anxiety if you're just going in KL, just going to work and back, that kind of thing. This car is perfect for that kind of application. Going outstation, I would say don't consider this car. This is more of a second car or a daily commuter car. If you don't like driving outstation, in fact, I think just fly, take a Air Asia flight or a Malindo Air, whatever it is, or take the train. Now there's more options. Take the bus even, that's fine. But yeah, if you just want one car and then do interstate travel with public transport, this can be done with this car. But I think most Malaysian families, especially those with landed property, can afford to have 2 cars. And maybe that means buying this new and then keeping your old petrol car as your interstate drive car. That's a very viable option. Seeing this as a secondary car in the household for daily commute, I think that effectively would reduce your daily commute costs, because now the whole fuel subsidy thing is big, it's here to stay. So if you really want to get ahead of that, this kind of car would be perfect for that. I think that's all I have to say in my first impressions of the car. Basically, it's very roomy and it's very usable for daily commute. If there's anything else you want us to know when we take the car for full review, just leave it in the comments and we'll try to address that later on. I'm Subhash from dsf.my. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.